Good morning, Jerry. How you doing?
Great, Shan RJ. Good to be on with you this Tuesday morning, and boy, never felt better.
I know. The only bad thing is it feels like, at least to me, the season's kind of going by too fast. Does it feel like that for you?
Yeah, but I will say this. I'm sobered up. I look ahead and look at 10 games to go, and that's a long time. That's what I used to think of as a college football season, and that's just our regular season, not including playoffs. So the reality is we've got a lot of football left to play, a lot that's going to impact what we do at the end of the season relative to the playoffs and onward. And so we've got a lot left. And I feel like really, in answer to the question, we're still putting it together.
Yeah, Jerry, when do you feel like people will say with Belichick, it's like, all right, it's a feeling out process, first 4 games, and then he takes the middle of the season to get it right, and then you're really honed in the last quarter. How do you view the breakup of the season before really knowing what you think you are?
Well, I think that at all times, I don't ever feel like it's set. It's like holding 2 handfuls of Jell-O and thinking you've got it when it's coming out this finger, coming out that finger, and you try to grab over there. So there's an element of that, if you will, injury. But there is really the evolving of your talent level. Young players can be a different player in skill or in contribution by the time they get to the playoffs from when they started in training camp. Consequently, sometimes an older player can have a depreciation over that 4-month span. And so you've got to anticipate that and know that it's a moving target, and it's just not going to be the same wagon train that left the east, broke the wagons down on the Mississippi and burned some of them for firewood, and a lot of people born and died on the way. It's the train, but it's not the same makeup of it.
Jerry Jones here on The Fan. Jerry, let's just kind of get your overall thoughts on the win on Sunday against the Lions with your game recap.
Well, first of all, that score is misleading. That was a much, much tougher game and was hanging in the balance in my mind, and I think in everybody's mind. That great play that Parsons made to catch the guy on the goal line and get the ensuing fumble. Until that point right there, we were in harm's way, to say the very least. And so the game was a real physical. It took its toll on us, but a game that we got better. We're a better team having played it. But I think we had a formidable quarterback we were playing. He can have his moments on given plays. He can make some. He's got a quick release, got an accurate arm in terms of what he presents as a passer. And their defense gave us a lot to deal with. And so I feel good that we've got a win here there Sunday that really helped put a foundation under this team.
What were your thoughts at the half? It was a 6-3 game, super low scoring, not something that we have been accustomed to. What was your thoughts at halftime?
I thought we could play better, and felt that, frankly, without making any adjustments, I knew the game plan. I knew what we were trying to do. I thought we could. I really did thought if we stuck with what we were trying to do when we entered the game, that some good things would happen. We of course, you always need that proverbial turnover, but we just needed to keep some drives going, and we need to make some third downs. And so whatever you set up to start the game certainly anticipates some third down success, and we weren't having it, but I thought we could get it.
Jerry, what were your expectations for Dak's game going into this one? Like, did you expect there to be a lot of rust? Because he hasn't really played, 7 quarters his entire year?
Yeah, we were going to emphasize the game was to emphasize some play action. We did that right off the bat. We missed that first pass. I think you can miss that pass like he missed it. That could happen to him at any time. I don't say rust there. I just say he'll hit that pass 9 out of 10 times. The play was the perfect one to open the game with. It had him rolling out. That's when he does his best work. So I liked it. It kept him out of that pocket to start things off, which I thought was a good place for him. But I felt like we were going to be able to run the ball against their defense. And when you look at it, we ultimately did.
Jerry Jones with Shan RJ recapping the win over the Lions on 105.3 The Fan. Jerry, do you have an amount of games in your mind that you think it'll take Dak to feel his 100% self in terms of rhythm and timing?
Oh, I think you've if there is that, as that game wore along, I think he went in that direction. He did not digress. He went in that direction, and my opinion is that he will anything that he had to deal with relative to not having been out there for 5 games. This game, he'll address that. He's the kind of player. He's the kind of quarterback that can take what he wasn't satisfied with, and he can improve on that game. He can do it practice to practice.
How's his hand feeling after playing an NFL regular season game?
Absolutely has no adverse aspects to it. That hand will be better if it needed to be. It'll be better next week or better tomorrow than it was this past week. So I think you're going to see that more and more not be a factor if there's not a re-injury someplace.
So, Jerry, I think RJ and myself are in the minority, but this formula of defense and running the ball, we're a little bit worried about it because it seems like the margin for error is so thin that you're going to be in closer games versus trying to go out, air it out, and score 30 with this defense. Tell us why we're dumb.
Well, I don't think you're dumb, but I think that's what you're going to get when you get to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. You'd better be ready to play that way when you get to the playoffs. You need to be able to run it. You're going to be in close games more than likely. Things are tighter fits all the way around. I think we're practicing playoff football.
Jerry, speaking of playoff football, it felt like you guys had been really good in the third and short areas, and then it was a problem the other day. How much of an issue do you view it where people say, stop running it outside, don't get too cute, just give it to Zeke right up the middle on some of these third and shorts? How do you view that?
Well, he bounced out on the one run that's so vivid in our minds. He bounced out, and they got him outside when he bounced out. But just know this. Third and short is as probably a focused on aspect of football coaching as you can have across the board. The quarterback sneak aspect of it, how much to run your quarterback, what to do relative to how it's blocked, even discussing if someone other than the quarterback ought to be doing it if it's quarterback sneaking. It is one of coaches and coaching's premier points that they invest a lot of time in. It's that way because it is a challenge. And, you say, well, the route, when you get 3rd and 2, becomes real even on the stats as to whether you ought to run or pass. I like to keep it on the ground. I like to, personally, I like to make a 6 inches. I don't like handing it off 3-4 yards deep. But that seems logical to me. That isn't borne out by the stats.
How many times did they just call the QB sneak behind Jones at Arkansas?
Well, I'll tell you what, it had to be on a pulling play because I pulled 99% of the time.
Really?
My block was just about the fullback's block, which I had played the year before and started. My block was out in front of them or in their feet out at linebacker if I didn't have a man over me. I was in trouble when the guy got right over me.
Jerry Jones here on 105.3.
180. I weighed 182 pounds when I got to start in the Cotton Bowl out here for the Razorbacks when I was a senior. Yeah, that's not blowing them out too much there on the 3rd and 6 inches.
Jerry, we have to talk about our player of the game was one of your draft picks, and he wreaked havoc in only 12 snaps. Talk about the development and the journey so far for Sam Williams up front and the game he had.
When I think of Sam Williams, I just picture just running. I don't know when I've seen a player run as well and run as much as he does. And he'll go from sideline to sideline, run as long as you want him to all day long. And he's got the size to go with it. But to take advantage of that size and being able to run and his quickness is really what is his skill, if you will. And he's a guy that has evolved as a pass rushing weapon when he was at school, and he's just starting to take it to another level. And Dan and the leadership out there with the Quinn and the leadership of the coaches have got him pegged right. They see his skill and are using it. And so I'm excited about Sam Williams, what he adds to really he's unique in terms of adding that speed run to our defense and especially our pass rush.
Jerry, did you? I'm sure you saw the Monday night game last night. The Bears obviously playing you guys next week. Do they, after seeing that, maybe present more problems than you initially thought with how well their offense played?
Well, I know the coach well. He was here forever, and doing a great job, by the way, and was in my mind destined to be head coach. And I'm sure he would say the same thing if he were on this show with you. It's a dream for him to be coaching the Chicago Bears. And so I was really proud for him last night. That was a big win for them. And it just shows you that every time we line up, we've got what we're dealing with in the first half out here the other day. There's going to be nobody that can't step up there and win these games. And so that's where we are. That's the life we live, so to speak. And it's exciting. It's the most balanced that I've seen it in the NFL, I believe, since I've been involved.
Are these games before the bye week kind of nerve-wracking, just from a focus standpoint, that a lot of teams can fall into a trap?
Yeah, you could say that because you look at situations and you say, boy, in a way, if this player is nicked up, and many are nicked, then you could have a 2-week rest or a 2-week break in there for him to mend. And that can sway you a little bit on playing a player that's right on the edge. And we had our big weekly personnel meeting yesterday, and the word, we'll have him. If we can get him to the bye week without him getting nicked, or maybe not expose him, then we'll really have a good chance for the rest of the year to have a healthy player. That's the one area I think that in planning ahead, that bye week could influence your decision.
Jerry Jones here on 105.3 The Fan. One more question about last night with Justin Fields running around. You've talked about Dak running, maybe not wanting to have him expose himself to injury because you know what happens a lot of times with a backup quarterback, except if you have Cooper Rush. How do you view the running quarterback in today's game, Jerry, with the investments that you have to make in them, in Hurts and Lamar and Kyler and Justin Fields? How do you view the investment in the quarterback that runs a lot?
Well, I think it's inevitable that a running quarterback will be dealing with some injuries.
Yeah.
I think that's inevitable. And we're trying in our rules in determining when the whistle's blown, when determining the definition of hitting the quarterback. But we've got it available for them to slide. We've got a lot of that mechanism, but I think you can see the attempt in the NFL to give that quarterback some room and become a dual threat, run plus throw. And then take your risk, team, when you decide you're going to have them out there, because they will get hit and hit good in a different way than in the pocket. I still believe, even though we lost Dak to a run to the outside, I still believe the pocket is the most dangerous area for the quarterback, and where you've got more chances to control that because of landing on them, the protection in the head, those type of things. That gives you a chance to do it, yet still have your defense with the ability to make some big plays when the quarterback has the ball. To discuss it comes out of both sides of your mouth and sounds pretty ambiguous, but that's what you got. And it's such an important part of a team's success and the league's success. As I said earlier, we'll always be striving to come up with the right way to call those hits on the quarterback.
Jerry, last one for you. Steven was on yesterday. He brought up Michael Irvin's name, and you used to talk about kind of your Rolodex of advisors. I know John Madden was in there. I think you talked to Switzer about DeMarco. I was just wondering what the updated Jerry Jones advisor list looks like in terms of who you talk to get opinion and just exchange ideas about throughout the sport.
Well, add Witten, add Romo, to 4 list of people. The list is longer than you can imagine, and I spend a lot of time talking about our team, this team. I spend a lot of time talking with people about this team that I know or have analytical viewpoints about it, and at every aspect of it, especially in the offensive line, especially in the receiving area. And so you can just go down through them. I can easily tell when they've spent the analytical time looking at the team, and sometimes they're in an advantageous position to evaluate other teams. You can imagine if you're a commentator, and we've got several of them out there, well, then they've done a lot of work seeing a lot of teams, and they can give you some good opinion, and all of it's cricket. It's good.
Yeah. Well, it's been another fantastic start to the week. Our moods are determined way too much probably on the Dallas Cowboys. Congrats on another win, and let's keep it going on Sunday. And thank you for the time as always.
All right, guys. Good to be on. Let's have a big day.